Well, good evening to you folks. How are you? It is good to see you, and it is good to be seen by you. The person who is doing the seeing and the being seen is, of course, me, Bill Sylvie, aka the Dungeon Delver. Welcome to the show. And folks, we're doing real good. We're at 4,700, 4,800, 33 subs, something like that. We're growing. All right, we're growing by leaps and bounds. And listen, PewDiePie, Sniper Wolf, Jax Films. Listen, I'm right behind you. Okay, look over your shoulder and you see me. And listen, it's not a competition. All right, people can watch videos. They can watch lots of videos, but I'm just saying that, maybe next year if a certain Dungeons and Dragons aficionado is asked to be the keynote speaker at VidCon and not one of you guys, well, you step into the circle squared and you're bound to get brushed back a little bit. But anyway, until then, and even after then, of course, tonight's stream is brought to you by our friends at Hellebarde Games. Hellebarde makes the kind of adventures they'd like to play. Whether it's for 5th edition, for Castles and Crusades, or the OSR, old school is in play at the table with Hellebarde. And you can find them on DriveThruRPG or on their website, hellebardegames.com. And speaking of fun things that we do around here, and tonight I am going to be welcoming back an awesome couple of guests. They're really great people. Of the many denizens of Lake Geneva, both past and present, that it has been my unique pleasure to get to know this power couple of tabletop gaming. Well, they rank right up there. They have currently got yet another Kickstarter because they can't be stopped. Don't get in their way. Going out right now, and it is horror themed, 1940s pulp horror. But I don't want to give anything away. I'm going to let them talk about it in just a minute. So I'm going to put on the mellifluous golden tones of my AKG headphones here, and I am going to bid welcome to absolutely swell people. Let us say good evening to Erik Garland and Heidi Garland. How are you guys?
We're doing great. Hi.
Doing swell.
Wonderful. It's good to see you guys.
Mm.
So how are y'all? You're doing good. You've got another Kickstarter on the way. You just finished one up. Y'all are just going like crazy, and it's awesome to see.
We are working hard.
Excellent. Now, you'll have to excuse me, guys. I'm feeling a little poor this evening, so pardon me while I pour.
Oh, I'm feeling a little poor. There you go.
Great.
But anyway.
I was going to say, you look good. You have suntan.
But I live in Florida. I have to have a suntan. It's the law here. Of the few laws we actually have that people obey. But anyway, it's wonderful to see you guys. What is this all about now? Obviously, I've got a little inside baseball. I've talked to you and Erik about this. It's all good. So tell us about Shadows over Lake Geneva.
Okay, go ahead.
We do. So we had this idea. It was no, that was a different idea. I don't remember. We were talking about playing a modern game, something horror, just bouncing away from what we've been doing, standard fantasy theme.
And
Yeah, of course.
And I wanted to do something where we work in some of the stories that my dad would tell for some of the important places. He had lots of stories. He was a really great storyteller, as most of you know. And he had some real life stories and then some embellished things. And he also was a fan of pulp comics and that sort of thing. So when we thought about how do we put in magic and adventure into a modern world, into a modern Lake Geneva. And so that's what we're doing. And if anybody's heard, the Beast of Bray Road is actually something that some people in the area believe is a real thing. There's a modern, legend about it, and a lot of people have been seeing it for many, many years, several generations. So we went along with this one, working in a few little stories and things that work in. 1948, my dad would have been just a kid, but we're still working some things in because he did some of the places that he played and hung out and did. And Lake Geneva, Wisconsin was also a big area for gangsters, the Chicago area. So we're working in some of those different things, and of course working in a little bit of low magic. You can take over from there, but that's kind of where this started. Sorry.
No, we were talking about different stories that her dad had told. And so we actually, a new artist this time we reached out to is Eugene Jarowski, and we haven't used him before. And so we had this conversation with him, and we were giving him, some potential projects. And we had this call. We were driving down the road. I don't even remember where we were, but because we just keep traveling. But so we're on the phone with him, and we're talking about this story that Heidi had told about where a young Gary and one of his friends decided to scare a young lady as she was walking home, and had put on I'm just going to go and tell. He put on some gloves inside out.
Rabbit fur lined glove. Well, I don't know if you know that living in the South. Gloves.
We've heard of it.
In the South, we just wear the whole rabbit. But
right up the keys.
With the little tips on the gloves, and so he turned them inside out, and he ran down this fence, and I guess he was wearing his jacket backwards, and he reached to the fence, and he reached for her, and he made growling noises and scared the piss out.
yeah, she ran, and they did this. He and his friend, and his friend Tom Keogh, his best buddy, and they were and it was at the cemetery, Pioneer Cemetery, that's like a block and a half from his home, and they reached through the gates, the iron gate of the cemetery, as she was walking past, because it's right next to the sidewalk there. And she, of course, flipped out. I think it was around it was the middle of the night, and they were laughing so hard they went running. They were laughing, and Tom, who was real spry, jumped over the fence. My dad tried to jump on the fence, and I guess he caught his jeans and ripped them.
Wow.
That was one of the stories of, that was one of the fun ones. But there were some actual scary things that had happened to him and things that scared him. But that one was just like the little prank one, so we've included, that story into the Beast of Bray Road as a,
part of the story.
Yes.
Well, that's cool. At least, well, I guess because Gary put it in there, he probably gets a pass too. But I think karmically, Tom and Gary are off the hook because Keotum's ointment probably saved more characters over the past 5 decades of Dungeons and Dragons. So paid their debt to society for scaring some poor teenage girl.
Yes.
So your dad was now was Gary a believer in cryptids? Did he really think there was something out there?
Yes. His mother denied it, but some of these stories that he told, because she didn't want to believe it, because the house that he lived in on 925 Dodge, which will be in our map of Lake Geneva as one of their locations.
Okay.
But my great-grandfather built that house. Murmur's dad. Murmur was what we called my grandmother, my dad.
Okay.
And her father built that house in the 1800s, late 1800s, and she was actually born there in the house. But my dad had quite a few different things, and I don't want to give them all away, but I don't think I'm going to address any of them. Maybe I'll put one of them in. But things that he swore by that happened to him in that place, in that house. And, so yeah, he believed.
That is really neat. I can't remember if I mentioned it on the show, but I'm 99% certain I mentioned it to you. The gentleman who gifted us with that great outro song that we got, the Owl Bear, Bob Antone, is very much a believer in that sort of thing. And I've been meaning to have Bob back now for many moons, and hopefully I can get him on before Halloween. I think that would be a lot of fun. He will be just beside himself with joy to know that Gary was a believer in such things, particularly cryptids. Bob's a big Bigfoot fan, so that'll tickle him pink.
Yes, yeah, and I know in one of my mom and dad's early, before they were married and they were dating, and my mom was always pretty religious. She went through this serious and got religious as a teenager kind of thing. And
sure.
Anyway, my dad, in fact, they debated in school, and and she took creation and he took evolution, and they debated on so yeah. But anyway, one of their dates that they had, he played with a Ouija board, and my mom is still creeped out by it because my dad says he didn't move it, and things moved, and it said something insulting about my mother, and he swore.
Oh no!
Yeah. Well, she asked what kind of a Christian she was, because she was going between different, and it said a Black Christian, and he's like, I didn't do that. Anyway. There was lots of stories of things that were scary, and people heard things in the house. And I even talked to my grandma about things she remembers, and she remembers that, my dad's reaction and the stories to it, but she doesn't believe there was anything in that house because, that was her family home. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway. That sounds fascinating, and that we're getting a slice of that in this upcoming month. Well, I say it's upcoming because this you guys are up to what, like $5 or $6 grand now on the Kickstarter. It's rolling right along, isn't it?
Yeah, it's going a little bit more slowly, to be honest, than our previous ones, and I think the difference is it's modern D&D, and I don't know if some people really understand the whole, mixing horror, the RPG, or I don't know, or maybe we're just not doing a good job about getting the information out there. But we have some time to go. We have another 25 days or so. So we definitely are going to fund. But yes, we're right around 5, I think, right now. And,
okay.
And we, we're doing this. We're enjoying it. We think it's a great idea. We have a lot of ideas for more adventures with Shadows Over Lake Geneva, in addition to more for our Storehold adventures that we're going to go back to as well. But, we're not sure. In fact, we were going to ask your audience, is there any sort of trepidation about the fact that this is a modern right?
Aha! See, now you guys out there in the chat, you're on the spot. You're always sitting with the questions. You're getting questioned. You didn't expect that, did you?
Yeah. So we want honesty. Is it something that you would be willing to buy and play? No.
All right. So let's hear it. You guys are always chatty Cathy's out there. Let's hear it. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put, we're gonna see if that Dungeon Delver effect can't help out a little bit. I'm gonna put the link up in the chat, and then I'm gonna share that with you guys. Come on, there you go. So you guys can go over, and I don't. Just why it's got the profile created, that's probably just a hangover from my login. But anyway, go check it out. It looks absolutely awesome. In fact, what we can do is, let me just open this up while they fire off their answers to your questions. Let me bring this open. Come on. I love this chat system that we've got. It's pretty cool. But my goodness, the user interface is is kind of a pain in the keister. So let me see here. I'm going to open this up and share it. And for our audience sake here, let's bring that up. So there we go. There it is. The Shadows over Lake Geneva. And yeah, guys, definitely check that out. It's worth doing. I happen to know a couple of people involved with the production of this, so they're pretty cool. So it's definitely worth your time.
So I do see the comment that if it were anything but 5e, they do now. You know, of course, we're making a modern. Eric's going to be writing a modern rule supplement for it, but we've talked about depending on where we get to as a stretch goal. One of the stretch goals we've talked about is having some guy who's like a dungeon delver or something, you know,
I don't know,
do an AD&D conversion.
That is correct. I have stepped up to the plate on this one, guys. So for those of you that just can't get enough, not only of Heidi and Eric, but of my turn of the keyboard here, stretch goal. Yeah, 16.
We put it up yet? Yes, there it is. 16.
Yeah, it's right there. So 1E AD&D conversions of GS1 and GS2 by yours truly. And if you like the conversion stuff I did on the previous modules, I haven't heard from the publishers. They keep me in the dark, you know. They keep me locked in a shed until they need me. But
it's not.
But anyway, definitely though, if you want to see it different, you know, you can help drive towards that stretch goal there and get an AD&D conversion. And look, I'm gonna step on my guests here for just a hot second, and I'll put that back up. Some of you might be wondering, wait, this is 1940s horror. How are you going to convert it to an AD&D? And let me just say, trust me, bro. Okay. I can figure this out. If you look in the AD&D Dungeon Master's Guide, there's firearms in there. There's all kinds of tech gadgets in the Dungeon Master's Guide. So don't worry about it. It's going to be awesome, and I definitely think it is something worth checking out. Oh, did we have a third party on the stream?
She's running away. We have a little Zoe bug. Zoe. She's running back. She didn't want to be on camera.
Okay.
Always come here.
Come here. You love camera.
Stop it. You love to be on camera.
Do spooky voice.
Yes, she is. She stars in the video.
I don't remember.
You know.
Now I leave you down to sleep. Remember?
All right.
Oh, we should definitely run the video.
Yeah.
She's gone.
Let me see.
Yep. She's gone. Back
Let me see if I can get this up here. All right, let me see. Will this so if I do that,
there we are.
And I can
We have audio.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have audio. Good. All right. Whoop. Hang on. Let me actually put it on the screen so people can see it. There we go. Like I said, the user interface, not great. Not great. So we'll come back. So
We did pretty good.
Now I lay me down to sleep. The lake is old, the lake is deep. It isn't the dark that I must fear. It is the things as they come near. Mommy? Mommy? I feel like that's the vampire one is the weirdest picture. It's very weird.
All right, guys, there you go. Was that something else, audience? Was that definitely? That is nice and spooky, and I like it a lot. And I'm looking forward to see how this works out. Now, so I have a question, just as someone, because I know we haven't talked about this. So I don't know if you guys have played a lot of Chaosium, Call of Cthulhu, or really a lot of investigative games in general, but they tend to not be constricted to hallways and tunnels and 10 by 10 rooms with one orc and a chest full of 10 gold pieces and that sort of thing. So are there kind of locales like that? Are there mazy underground or abandoned building passages and that sort of thing in the adventure that players will encounter without giving away too much, of course?
More in the second, more in a sanguine horror than there are because just to give you a little hint of the inspiration for a sanguine horror was I don't know if any of you heard the story about when my dad was a kid that he used to play in the abandoned building that was the sanatorium. I
have heard of that. Yeah,
don't know. That's where the second one is going to take place. In there, so there'll be some underground and some moving. We also have some indoor locations, but yes, definitely a lot of outdoor locations in Beast of Bray Road, and we have a few little secrets and things. Maybe even ways that magic moves from place to place, or things.
Yes.
Eric has his birthday crown on because he told Zoe before that he had never had a tiara because she has tiaras, and so she insisted that we get him one. But I was nice and made it actually a crown and not a tiara because Eric's birthday was yesterday.
That's right. Happy 39th, Eric.
32nd.
No.
Sorry, 32nd. 32nd.
Yes, it's different depending on who you ask.
I had the most wonderful birthday presents.
That is great.
Yeah.
There you go. Thank you. Fix it. There you go.
Pass the crown around.
Yeah, yes. But as far as dungeon, there will be some dungeon type. So if this is, and I mean, it's gonna fun, and if people like it and they want more, we're gonna write some more. Lake Geneva has a lot of really interesting, very cool locations, and there's a lot of lore, and there's a lot of legend.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to know the exact location of where Gary grew up and did some of these things, back to Kickstarter because it's on a map.
Yes.
Nice.
We're making a map of 1948 Lake Geneva, which has real locations. And if we reach the stretch goal, we're going to have the flip side and also digital if you don't want to actually use it, but so that there's like a map of today and interesting places to, in the historical, significance of gaming, where you might want to visit if you were in Lake Geneva.
Help her. I'll be right back.
Okay. I guess since I'm talking so much, I figured he could leave. No, I saw, Vaughn asked about if I can tell him more about Greyhawk. But when Greyhawk was put together and published, I was a young kid and I don't know, the secrets of Greyhawk and all the different things. I know all of myself and my siblings all have names in there.
That's right.
And, but yes, so I can't give any of those, insights necessarily. So.
Well, so sorry about that, Vaughn, but hey, we did see Esoteric Order of Nerdery has said consider it pledged.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you very much, Esoteric. We appreciate that. And by the way, if somebody came in and said hello, and I missed you in the chat, hello. I'm not ignoring you. I promise. You're all awesome out there in audience land. So let's see. Now, Eric was telling me that putting the map together itself was quite an adventure, because just trying to dig up information about what was where was what were. Eric, I'm sorry. I remember us talking last week and the week before were a bit of a whirlwind for me. But what were some of the interesting challenges you faced when you were making the map?
Oh, I suck at art. I mean,
No, but he's really good at it. He's got really good
than that.
So yeah. Finding some of the locations, and Lake Geneva doesn't look like it looked in 1948. It's very similar, but the city, the way some of the blocks, a lot of the blocks are laid out, finding out where the locations of some things that are really important to the story, and getting it exactly right, or to the point that I can sleep at night. So, and then I do everything. I don't art, so I have to do everything in Photoshop. So basically designing the maps, but it's fun because while I'm designing the maps, we're talking. Heidi's desk is 5 feet away from mine, and which we're about to upgrade. We're moving to a bigger house.
In Lake Geneva,
right.
My house, the house you've been in,
right. And it's a lovely home.
And there will be more room. But yeah, it's so just getting the map to look good and finding the locations. But while we're doing this, we're talking about, wouldn't it be cool if we had an encounter here? And as we're learning some of the history, some of the history in Lake Geneva is just fascinating. And
my mom has been, really giving a lot of good background information, because she's always had stories that you tell, but as a kid, sometimes you don't really listen that closely to their stories. But my mom's going to be 86. She probably wouldn't want me to say that. 86 next month. So so it's good to get these stories and things from her. But yeah, she was telling her grandfather he worked very closely with one of the hotels. It was called the Geneva Hotel, I think it was, and it was right down by the lake. It's now like a big building, but it was designed by Frank Lloyd Wright, and it was a gangster place. It's even if you look up the Geneva Hotel, it even has, they were raided, they found gambling there. The owner made a lot of money during Prohibition by running places in the area. And her grandfather, Big Tom, or Tomlinson, worked for him. So she has a lot of stories, and so that kind of information of the places in Lake Geneva and what she remembers there too.
Well, that's very, very cool. And I'm like I said, I'm excited about this, and I had this very serendipitous stretch of media. I don't know. It was a good couple of years ago, but not through any effort of mine. Like I was watching, it was about Prohibition era gangsters in Chicago, and they were talking about this famous running shootout that happened, that started in Chicago, went all the way up into Milwaukee, and finally ended when was it Ma Barker's gang, or was it Dillinger? I want to say, I'm pretty sure it was Ma Barker, but the police gave up and this is on the History Channel, according to the announcer, they escaped into the backwoods of Lake Geneva.
Yeah.
They trucked out into Lake Geneva and the Lake Geneva area, and were able to hide out from Johnny Law out there. And then there was now this is very, very much more contemporary, but right around the same time, again, unbidden, I didn't go looking for this. I turned on CBS Sunday morning, and there was a Man of the Year award given to someone who and you might even know who I'm talking about, possibly even personally. A fellow in Lake Geneva who he's a handyman, and he essentially spends all of his free time, such as he has, helping the less fortunate there refurbish their homes for the winter season, which I thought was really cool. But I was like, it just all this Lake Geneva news just hitting me all at once. And then there were a couple of other things, and then what was it last? It was last
time that you need to come back to Gary.
It was, and the key pain was last summer, before I knew my wonderful audience was going to step up as they did, which I so flattered, and I can't ever express enough appreciation for. There's a YouTuber by the name of Tom Scott, and he has literally built this gargantuan career on YouTube of, I go to interesting places and spend 5 minutes talking about them. And he has just got this very snappy delivery. He went and did a piece on the Lake Geneva mail jumpers.
Yes. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I need to go back to Lake Geneva. I get it.
I think it's like the only place left that still does that. You know, it's of course in the summer months, but yeah, one of my good friends, when I was, a good friend of mine when I was a kid, who still works for Gage Marine now as an adult, as one of the managers, but she was a mail jumper when she was, a teen.
Right on. So for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, Lake Geneva itself is very long, and there is a mail boat that goes to the houses on the lakes, and they have a crew who take the mail, newspapers, small packages, that sort of thing. And as the boat is chugging along past their docks, they're up on the bow. They jump off the boat onto the dock. And I mean, jump off. I don't mean jump off as in they stop. No. Run up to the mailbox, put the mail in, turn around, run back to the boat, and jump up on the boat.
Right.
And once in a while they go in the water.
And once in a while it's just, they miss that second step, and it's right in. So yes, Jorge, Tom Scott is the guy's name. He's a YouTuber.
Some questions.
Yeah.
We need to answer some, or Heidi needs to answer some questions.
All right, I will highlight these as I see them. So there you go. From Esoteric.
Okay. I did not play Gamma World or Metamorphosis Alpha. I remember, Jim Ward being over and, playing and stuff. But when I played with my dad, we played D&D, except for when we played board games. And I remember that from even younger age. My dad liked to play cards. He liked to play board games. We played Mahjong. He had an antique set of Mahjong. And, but he liked, when I would be visiting, when I wasn't living at home anymore, I would come, it was easier to set up like a card game. One that we also like to play Rail Baron, which is a long playing board game. But yeah, he liked all kinds of games. But yes, he was writing all the time. And no, unfortunately, I didn't get to play. The only time I did actually play with Jim Ward was at one of the Gary Cons a few years ago before COVID. And I jumped in a Sunday at the end of Gary Con, a CNC game where he was DMing. So that was a lot of fun.
Right on. Well, if you have 30 extra minutes, the next time I'm up there, I'll run some Gamma World and mutate the both of you. How about that?
Okay, cool.
All right.
I always wanted a prehensile table. That's.
Let's see. I'll mutate pants onto Eric is what I'll do. Let's see.
There's another question. Was it about who was playing? Like when I playing with brothers and stuff, I don't think I played in games with Ernie, or if I did, it was maybe a really long time ago. I played quite a few with Luke because he's a few years younger than I, and when we were living in the Clinton house after things were a little more successful, and that's when Cindy, Luke, and I would play with my dad. And then some of the neighbor kids started coming over and playing too.
Right on.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. So I'm going to highlight this one just because I love this story, and it's a shame that Luke isn't here to hear it also. But to answer Vaughn about playing with your brothers in the game, which I don't think Vaughn was here for, and some of the rest of the audience may not have been. Just briefly, you got to tell the story of Luke in the Tomb of Horrors, just so Vaughn gets his $2 worth of super chat. You got to tell us about Luke in the Tomb of Horrors.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, you could say Luke's character was the highest level and the most developed of us because he would play. A lot of times he would sit around my dad, and they would just play like one-on-one, and my dad would be working and kind of DMing him at the same time. And I know it sounds weird, but he would just multitask like that. So anyway, when we were all playing in the front room one time, and Luke's character was it Otis? Yes, it was Otis, and he was 10th level fighter at that time, and Luke would have been, trying to think, he probably would have been 8 or 9. Yeah, 8 or 9 years old, and his character fell into a 100-foot pit, and there was no way out, and he wouldn't do it, and he cried and cried, and for days he'd be like, "I gotta let him." I was like, "No, there's nothing you can do." Let him die. I was like, "Wow, okay."
So there you go. You have probably one of the better. One of the better Gygax Kids D&D stuff. I love it, which is why I was like, no, you got to tell this one. Let's see. Oh, here is a great question from Jack Photon. How do the Gygaxes go about finding artists for their projects?
Yes. Well, we're looking for.
Always.
I mean, we're always looking. We love the artists that we've worked with, but we're always trying to bring in new flavors and support the artists of the industry.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, and to that question, was Chet going to be able to hop in? I just didn't want to miss him if he was sitting in the green room.
Chad is on a hot date. He is not sitting in the green room. If he is, you don't want to look.
So Golden Girls and pizza rolls again.
Sure, Cheetos. No, he and his wife are on a date, and so he was not available.
That's awesome. Well, have fun, Chet. But yes, Chet Minton has done a lot of art, and
both covers of this, yeah.
Yeah, the book covers. But I got to ask Jack. Jack said he'll send you guys a Librum of Gameful Conjurations. Jack, can I spoil it for them and show it to them, because I don't think they've seen it.
No.
But you let me know. This is so cool. Whether he says no, let them be surprised, or get to show it to you. You guys are going to love this. But while we wait on that, this is a great question here. This is from Dirty History and Hobbies. Have you considered geo-referencing the hand-drawn maps to actual GIS data?
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
we're yes, it's something we're talking about, and so there's a bunch of stuff here. I mean, this is not my normal designing. So we're looking at yes, barcoding, using the putting some tags so people can follow along on our website, using the map to go from point A to point B and find information, and possibly even incorporating some sort of a game into it. As far as the old map, was trying to find something that was very, very close to 1948. I did find a historical topographic map, which was the most useful thing. So that was a little bit of a hunt. And then finding one that was a high enough resolution that I could actually see what was going on, and lay it down on Photoshop so that I could use it for references for size. And then
Buy the
and
map, take a picture, lay it on Photoshop, and redraw.
yeah, redraw the entire thing, right? And there's a
I
few
know.
things I have to guess at because I wasn't able to get exactly at 1948. And but yeah, it was a yep. The historical topographic map was the best thing I found, and I bought a copy and had it delivered, and then unrolled it and took a picture of it, and then scanned some in, and yeah. Whatever.
Well, that is very, very cool. So I got to show you guys this. This is really nifty. And if Jack Photon is going to send you guys a copy, I think you're absolutely going to love this. I'm going to get the canvas covered one down because it actually, well, both of them may want to come. There we go. So this is, hopefully that'll show up.
Oh.
This is a hardback. This is a hardback AD&D book that Jack made.
Very nice. Okay.
So it's even got a price tag on it, a vintage price tag.
Right.
Wow.
Wow, he must be old.
And it ain't the years, it's the miles. But it is a compilation of useful AD&D stuff, and it's even got a bookmark on it there.
Very cool.
That is very cool. Yes.
Adding those little bookmark ribbons into books when you're looking at printing costs, that adds a lot of cost.
Yeah,
Does it?
it does. But it is gorgeous.
Yes.
That's good to know. So I will I will put you guys in touch, and we'll figure out how to get you that. But yes, Jack's homebrewed AD&D books are truly wonderful things.
Very nice. Yes.
So
one of our problems we have had finding artists, and just throwing this out there, is like we have this idea, we start writing like crazy, and 3 weeks later we're going to Kickstarter. And so if we have had several artists, they're like, "Oh, wait, what? How? When do you want this? We're booked or we're busy."
Because a lot of Kickstarters go like a year out, or 6 months to a year out, and we're going a couple of months.
We just heard back. We have about half of our art already in hand, and and I mean, before the Kickstarter's finished, before the Kickstarter ends, we should actually have all the finished art in hand.
Mm-hmm.
And now the good news is we pay all the artists up front. They don't have to wait for the
So
Kickstarter.
we go to the top of the list. Yeah.
Well, yeah, they do. It is. Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. This isn't contingent on anything. I have to tell you about my Jeff Easley painting.
Yes.
Yeah. So anyway, we do usually have weird time constraints, and but we would love to work. I mean, working with new people is excellent, and that looks great. Jack, that's like amazing. So I would love to see
let me just put this up so you guys, those of you out there in audience land, can get a quick close look at this. This is are both of these Chet Minton?
Yes,
they are.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And I love these. And I think. Oh, I can't remember if I saw it on a poster. If you messaged me directly, you had said something to the effect of, we were talking about art. I remember it was Sunday, and we were talking about art and art preferences, and you were raving about this one, but I hadn't seen it yet, or I had just seen a rough pencil sketch of the Sanguine Horror cover, and yeah, that is amazing. That is exceptionally well done. My hat is off to Chet on that one. That's a beautiful piece there. So bring you guys back in, because that's one thing I don't like is about StreamYard is it frames weirdly, and sometimes I'll zip down and lose half of a person there. So, but if you guys want to see the art, check out the Kickstarter site and go look at it and drool over it, and then pay for it and get yourself some to have right in your own house. Now, have you guys thought about at some point down the line working with your artists on possibly doing like an art book, like just a Gaxland art book, like prints and that sort of thing?
We haven't yet.
We haven't yet.
We've talked about a few different things. I know we're talking about what's kind of funny is I'm not going to tell
You can talk about anything.
Okay.
Anything we're talking about. We can't give us. We're not going to tell anybody. It's like, oh my God, there's teddy bears.
So Chris Arneson is one of the artists that's doing like a few of the art pieces for us, right? And he's also, he's friends with, I believe, with Chad and Jeff Easley and different people. So anyway, when he was working on something for Beast of Bray Road, he's like, Jeff Easley heard I was working on Beast of Bray Road, and he lives right by there, and he loves that subject. And did you ask him? I'm like, oh, well, we already commissioned the cover, but I'll contact him. And I tried to see if he wanted to do something, if we did something else that was more of a compilation with some art. And he actually has stuff going on, so he couldn't make any commitments right now. But man, that would be really cool to get get Jeff Easley on board as well and doing some stuff with us. So that's something for the future that we're looking at.
It is.
But
well,
yeah.
What's so funny was I was telling Chet the story. I was like, hey, we were talking to Jeff Easley, and he's really interested in Beast of Bray Road. He's like, oh my God, am I fired? It's like, no. It's like, almost, yeah. But Jeff Easley,
you didn't let him dangle for just a few minutes. Well, Chad, you're on the bubble.
I didn't. He has shuffled things for us. We have we're kind of bouncing. So Heidi is doing Dining and Dragons, which is a Gygax Girls Cookbook, which she's been busily laying out for a couple of months and finding recipes.
It's slowly going along because then we have to try them out. Oh, I haven't made this in a while, and let's cook it and eat it. So
I've gained 40 pounds.
So we've got to do the Body by Gygax challenge that my brother started online. So I think we've got to stop the eating so much and just
yeah,
we'll have to start feeding other people some of the recipes.
We're working on a box game, which we told you about.
Yes,
and we'll talk about not so much tonight, but yeah, we can show all kinds of stuff. We've got all this stuff going on. Today was everything we do is all new, right? Well, we're going to actually talk about it. We're going to share art.
Is that okay or no?
Oh, yeah. So we're doing mapping, and then there's the social media thing, and there's putting together lists and trying to build Kickstarters. If you've never built a Kickstarter, there's this whole process to it. And there's all these things that we don't do. And today's adventure was trying to track down where the lot of money I sent to China actually went to because the bank screwed it up and did not put the correct account number. I gave them the correct account number. So yeah, we're doing dice. We custom designed.
Okay.
The dice aren't here. We don't have them yet. So he just put our dice will not look like this. He just put dice in to show that it has the
right
on.
And
but we do have the templates for the dice.
Yeah, and Eric worked really hard on these. It's all custom for the dice.
They're gonna think he didn't work hard. They're flat. What the hell's wrong with those dice?
Yeah. they don't roll very well, but
right. They put them onto an acrylic plate so that we can see because they have to build the molds.
Yeah, so these are the molds and how the molds are done for the printing, but I don't know if you can see. This is the six. It's hard to see probably the way I'm holding it around.
Right. No, that's actually yeah. Oh, that's neat.
And the other.
Use your 8s, your 10s, your all right.
Yeah, and so we Eric modified the design to fit more because there's some little creature here, but if you put it on every single one with the small ones, you won't be able to read it. So some just might have a little tentacle or just the eye. And then we have the Gaxland logo on there, the GL. So it'll be exciting. They'll be very pretty, and that's going to be in the boxed set. And let's see, will it be a classic style horror?
There will be some classic style horror.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? We said it's the Maltese Falcon meets I don't know, Indiana Jones meets something Lovecraftian meets Buckaroo Banzai.
Yeah. So And
Yeah,
I don't know. I was getting sort
there
of
you go.
we're throwing out some things in there where maybe
Let's go ahead and show them. It's
Okay.
we're going to try to do a box game for Christmas. So because we had never done fantasy games and we like that, and now we're doing the modern 1948 and we like that, we decided we're going to do teddy bears. So
but I'll show that. But yeah, the problem. How are you going to do that by Christmas? Because we put this as December just in case we run into anything between now and then. But we really plan on shipping by early November. So, you know, it's more likely that it's going to be early to mid-November that people will get this Shadows Over Lake Geneva.
Another project delivering in time for Christmas.
Right, because then we want to roll right out, close this one out, and then work on this one because we're already. So this one is, and it's another thing that's not your typical dungeon delve, but it's.
This is 2:30 in the morning. Heidi wakes me up and she says, "We should do a game with teddy bears, and where they protect the children from shadowy things at night." And so we kind of kicked it around, and then we're like,
we just have a couple sketches of things that we're doing, and yeah. So go ahead and say.
Yeah. So.
And Eric had the idea.
Yeah, tie it into our Arthurian legend, so that there's the magic of Merlin, and the beasts are from Morgan Le Fay, and
tying in
and that they created this powerful enchantment to protect children, and it involves teddy bears. And there's a image online that kind of is inspirational. Yeah, the thing under the bed. These are all by John Murakami.
Sketches by John Murakami from Hawaii.
Right.
So how are we going to get this done? Well, we write really, really fast, and we've already been in touch with the box company. Zach Glazer walked us through. Zach's just a really, really nice guy, and he helped us. Yeah, from Front Teams, and he helped us out with a little box and some of the ideas. And all of our printing is done in the USA, so we know the company can come through for us. And all of the art has been commissioned at this point, and we're already getting some of it back. While we're working on Kickstarter number 3, we're getting art back from Kickstarter number 4 from John Murakami, and he's going to do all of the art for this one, just because of his style. Yes, tactical teddy bears. There's going to be 3 different classes. It's going to be based on 5e. Sorry, we might convince somebody to do an AD&D conversion. But it's pretty cool.
They're going to look a little different than this, but see, we're going to have like the Lancelot warrior, the Merlin magic user, and Percival
the cleric.
Yeah. Right on.
The names of the classes, and so it's been really fun, and everybody we've showed it to.
And it's not just for kids. It's not.
No,
it could be. I'm sure you could play.
There'll be class progression. You can advance. Going to do a couple of modules. The girls, I always threaten them when they're being bad. So pretty much every day, I threaten them by sending them to Camp Far Away. So one of the adventures will take place at Camp Far Away.
Yeah.
And,
nice.
They're not bad. They are dear, sweet 8 and 10-year-olds.
Yeah.
So
Emily turned 10 this week too. So
gosh, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Well, happy birthday to Emily. Very, very, very happy birthday. Okay. So I have to share this. When about 7 or 8 years ago, a buddy of mine and I just on a lark started emailing each other short horror stories we'd come up with on the moment. And one of the first ones I ever sent him was exactly down this road. It was this very thing. Teddy bear protects kids from evil spirits. And I did this 7 or 8 years ago. And as soon as Eric started telling me about this, but last week, again, the last 2 weeks have just, but I was like, I couldn't help myself. I was like, hey, I have a short story. You want to put it in there? I promise. And all I have to do is, my short story was literally called Build-A-Bear, which obviously for obvious reasons you guys cannot do. But, all I have to do is just change a couple of names. But it was so serendipitous that you've got this idea, and I have a little 700 word, you can cram that in a sidebar text kind of thing there. It's kind of fun how that came together. If you want it.
Oh yeah, it's a good story, and it wasn't serendipity. Well, it might be serendipity, but I was looking around for bugs. I thought Bill's watching us. It's like the stuff we're talking about.
Don't be ridiculous or look behind your refrigerator. But anyway,
I don't know
what the beholder list is.
So I have this run of this limited run of 3D prints of beholders, and I offered these to my. I don't even know if that's it's a gray blob 20 feet away. That's going to show up real good, Bill. Hang on a second. I blame the Guinness, but anyway, hang on. I'll bring this closer.
Oh yeah.
Is that the same one? Somebody painted one of those for me, and if it was one of you guys, I thank you. I was like, I got it. Somebody handed it to me at a GaryCon, and it
looks very similar.
Yeah, it looks very similar, except it's very nicely painted. Anyway,
they already have one. They don't need to be on the list then. So unless you guys want another one or two or three, I have a bunch.
Cool.
These are misprints, or their eye stalks broke off. I've got them sitting in a paint tray. But anyway, so now that I know you have one, I don't have to put that in the care package that I'm going to send you someday.
Loser.
Fuchsia says, we need 3D tactical teddy bear miniatures. Printing them on 2D channel might be fun and informative. Oh, no, you're talking about my other, eventually, maybe someday 3D printing channel. But yes, miniatures would be awesome. All kinds of miniatures would be awesome.
Yes.
Because, you guys don't have enough to do right now. And clearly involving yourselves in the business of miniatures and creation and sales thereof is definitely what you should be focused on right now, because
we really like the scorpion that I actually had it, painted and stuff, but it's very expensive to commission the sculpt and then build them. So we're hoping one day we will break even on those, but they're really cool to have.
Right.
We have our own mini.
Yeah.
And that was did you tell me that was John Popson that did that?
Yes, yeah. I'll get my painted one and show
Yeah.
you.
Oh, please do. I've only ever seen parts of it.
Yeah, it came out great.
So let me see if we can
you set it on something?
Yeah.
You put it on this guy?
Yeah, I find
that'll work best.
That'll work.
Let's
see if we can
up there.
Can you see it, or should I? Yeah.
Let me see if I can I make you guys the focus? Hold on. Nope, that's me.
So that's who painted it?
Yeah, no, that's good. That's
Midwest Miniature Guy.
Yes.
So John Popson sculpted it and did the mold based on Chet Mitten, the art he did for Tomb of the Dundle Chief. This is one of the creatures that you would fight in Tomb of the Dundle Chief. And then Midwest Miniature Guy, we hired him to paint it, and it came out really, really good.
It is lovely.
I need to put it on a base, and
yeah,
it's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So yeah, we don't have a good place to display all our stuff here because we're in a very small little crooked haunted house in Kentucky right now, but we'll be in Lake Geneva.
Yeah, Jack, the scorpion, I mean, it's a large size critter, and if you're playing with the pre-gens, it's all halflings, which was so funny. That was the first time Chet did work for us, and it was like, what are you going to do? And or what do you want? And I said, sort of desert theme, clockwork mech scorpion, fighting a bunch of halflings. He's like, oh, I'm in. And he did great. In fact, our company logo is based on one of the things he did for that cover. And he's working on our next, we need another company logo. He's working on that as well. He says December, but I'll probably have it in a few weeks. Heidi will be right back. I know I'm boring. But
Okay. No, you're not. You're absolutely not. You're both wonderful people, and it's awesome that you guys are. Praxis says, "Lovely." That scorpion is terrifying. That scorpion's not terrifying. It's just a little one.
it's a pretty neat little critter. I was really happy with the way it came out. And it was one of those things, we sort of did it in the last minute. We're talking to John Popson. He's like, oh, yeah, I can get it done. And then he runs a restaurant. So he had like the summer from hell and was having problems. He was having employer-band issues. And I think he was having some problems with some mechanical problems, but he got them to us on time. And I have not assembled one, but Midwest Miniature guy, and it's just killing me. I can't think of his name. I don't.
Oh.
But super, super nice. Worked with Heidi on painting it. Anyway, he said it just went together like a dream. And the thing is it's really sharp. All the little edges are really sharp. It's you wouldn't want to run into one. Itd be the size of a Volkswagen bus.
I don't want to run into one the size of the miniature. Let me just be 100% clear about that. I don't want that. So, again, clearly you've got a lot of irons in the fire, and getting involved in the wholesale production of miniatures is probably not looming large on your radar screen at the moment. And who could blame you with all this other cool stuff you've got going on? But, is that something you'd like to do in the future? You guys would like to do in the future, as far as more Kickstarter bonus level offers, tier level offers with miniatures?
Yeah.
We've
talked about it. So at this moment, the finishing the two projects we're on, but next year we're going to sort of regroup and regather. Regather and regroup. Yeah. My last day of gainful employment, I've been at the hospital for almost 20 years. And so I leave on.
Oh my God. And you're not better yet?
I leave on. That's it. Here's where I make a comment about the hospital. No. My last full-time day is October 11th. And then we will be going up to Dragon Days on Lake Geneva.
Mm-hmm.
To
something Paul Thornburg is putting together, and so we're going to participate in that, and then Gamehole Con.
Right. And then we'll be coming back here and basically getting this house ready to sell. And then when the girls go out of school in December, we'll be relocating to Lake Geneva full time. And then at that point, this will be all we're doing. So we'll have all kinds more time. I don't have to go to job A.
Right on. So from December forward, you're in Lake Geneva. So, it must be nice that your local con is Gary Con. Just, you want to go to the con today? Sure.
Nice to fly from Hawaii to go to it. So,
Right. I had mentioned this story before, and some of the audience might have missed it. You were in Central Florida more frequently when you lived in Hawaii than I think you'll be living up in Lake Geneva. It's like I see you on Facebook and like, oh, I'm in Orlando this weekend, and I was like, oh, that's very cool. We didn't really know each other that well beyond we
would go in and out. Actually, it wasn't like a whole week. We would do 11-day trips. When I say we, with the company, I worked with Nahoku Jewelers and Pro Factory and Nahoku Fine Jewelry Stores, and we have some on the Disney property and such, and all over the U.S. Mm-hmm. So in 11 days, we would go to 18 cities and visit our stores, or 18 stores in probably 12 cities in 11 days. It was crazy. It was a crazy trip. So I didn't have time, and I was traveling with my boss and sometimes the owner, one of the other owner of the company, and another, our designer, and maybe one other buyer who worked for me. So, yeah, because there was a 60 jewelry store chain that I was in charge of the merchandise for like 30 years. That's what I did.
So getting to just put your feet down on the nice springy grass of Lake Geneva is probably quite the welcome change. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I'm much preferring this life over the high stress life, and plus deciding I was already taking care of the girls before I made the change full time, but after now I've got 2 little ones again, and at my age it's good to not have to have a 7 to 6 anymore.
Your age? You mean 31? Is it?
Yes, right. 33 going on 34. Yeah, no, you always said for 33. I said, don't tell people I'm 33. They're going to be, wow, she looks rough.
Never.
So, Eric, a sea change for you too, leaving the Kentucky bluegrass for the wintry climes of Lake Geneva. But it's not that big of a change, is it?
Winter is much longer. The winter is more mild here and a lot less snow, but it seems like the weather is very similar to me.
Pretty close.
Except for winter.
Yeah. A lot of winter.
Yeah, it was more winter. Yeah.
As opposed to Florida, which is known as Satan's blowtorch. So, and that is the winter we're referring to. It's fun to go down to the airport and watch people dissolve as they step off of European flights, just sponge up on tarmac 3, but
Eric, you got to be careful what you say around him.
What? She tells lies.
So I do have to ask, because this is, of course, we're one big happy fleet, as it were. How are your ribs rib singular doing, Eric? Is that settling down finally? Doing what it needs to?
No change. No callus forming. It's not setting up. It's not healing at all.
Man.
Okay. It is okay.
They said he's not in any immediate danger. It's just as long as you can live with the pain. That's
it's not.
And so we're actually gonna get back to exercising again, because he was not moving around much because of the painful floating rib.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
that's good.
Minor.
Hey, you got your own built-in barbecue there.
Yes.
Sorry,
well, I said, he's got a rib. He broke off a rib. He could make a new wife, but he said he doesn't need another one.
She keeps threatening me with that. It's not. I don't know why.
Where did that? Oh, Vaughn. This comes up a lot. Just to clarify, my sister Elisa was the one who did the modeling. And the gamma roll that's the one you had up on your.
Yeah, my mother.
When you were a little kid, you had that up.
Yeah, but that was Elise.
Yeah.
And I remember the first time I met Heidi, I was actually sitting and talking with a little bit later. Yeah. Well, yeah, but I was a little bit later. It was at an auction, and I was sitting pretty close to Heidi, and I was talking to Elise, and I was like, I had this real big crush on you when I was a kid, and the whole time I was thinking, God, the redhead's gorgeous, So.
You were. Oh, Lisa's a redhead too, but she liked.
Not then.
Yeah, it's more blondish. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. So I had the gamma rolled picture. That was my favorite.
That's a fun one. Let's see.
That's okay.
It is.
It comes up every so often. I've even caught it online where like if you Google your name and they're like, "Oh yeah, I was in those pictures," and I was like, no, that wasn't me.
I might help, because people are like, oh my God, you're married to the girl from the gamma roll. And I'm like, yes, I am. No, I don't.
just take it and run with it. Somebody asked further up in the chat, and I missed who it was, but I remember the question. Do you guys prefer running games or being players?
I haven't been a player for a while.
Yeah.
I got to say, having played under their tag team dungeon mastering, they are ruthlessly effective DMs.
I haven't gotten to just be a player for a while, but in Hawaii before, like the year before I moved, we found one of my friend's husbands DM'd for a group of us there, and that was a lot of fun. So I like both. It's hard to say. Right now, I'm enjoying DMing because we're bringing our new stuff and we get people's reactions doing play testing.
Right.
But I love to be a player too. And I was bragging before about how, you know, when I played in at GaryCon with Jim Ward in the CNC game, and I was the only one in the whole group who survived. And then Eric's like, "Yeah, he let you. He just let you. He never lets anybody live."
Oh, no. I mean, he clears it. He's like, "Oh, no, we got 5 minutes left. A tentacle reaches down from the ceiling. You know, Eric, I need you to roll a d6, and whatever you do, don't roll a 1 through 5. It's like, what the hell, you know? Tom Tellis is next. Tom, a tentacle reaches down from the ceiling and starts shoving Eric's corpse down your faceplate of your armor. You know? Roll a d6. And roll 1 through 5. He's like, I rolled a 6. He's like, no, it doesn't count. Roll again. And 5 minutes later, you're cleaning up the table. You know. And so she plays, and it's like, oh no, Heidi, I won't kill you.
It wasn't. I just didn't do as stupid stuff as the rest of the players were doing. But.
Yes. Jim TBK one. I don't kill players. Players kill players. I have a video. I can show you. And we're all laughing. We're having a great time. Yeah. But he's smiling at each of us as he tears up our character sheet.
Oh. Well, I mean, we play first edition Gamma World on live stream on Friday nights on the show, and I mean, Jim wrote the rules. I mean, they're brutal. I even love the fact that he teases that there's a saving throw system built into the game. Like right in the beginning, he talks about making saving throws. It's like, well, this won't happen if you make a saving throw. There's no saving throw system built into the game, Jim. I think you did that to give false hope to people. There's no saving throw versus radiation. It just happens.
He's a lot of fun. He's a lot of fun to play with. But when it's quitting time, there's only one way out. And
yep.
Except unless you're Heidi.
Well, Jim Ward was coming over to our house when I was probably Amelie's age, or just a little kid. So he's known me for a long time. But that doesn't stop him from always making inappropriate comments around. Lightly inappropriate comments, not nothing too offensive because.
Oh, okay.
My mom and dad. Yeah. Well, he did come up. When he had the ideas to do like a sci-fi version of D&D. That's when my dad did tell him, "Hey, why don't you do it?"
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it took a lot of editing. It's really good. Yeah.
Let's see. No, Fornelius. That's not the girl who wore the silver bikini in the Gamma World ad. For goodness sake, keep up. Scroll back some. We already covered that. Somebody was saying, we need to get Heidi and Eric on our games as guest players because you guys, again, you have all this free time. I'm sure you just want to sit around on stream for 3 hours on a Friday night playing Gamma World or D&D on a Tuesday. But the invitation is out there if you ever do, even if it's not on stream, even if you just want to come to one of the private games, because I've got. My Monday night group is literally scattered from the East Coast to the furthest reaches of the CONUS. So the invitation is open. You guys are welcome.
Thank you.
Probably going to be busy for a few weeks here with more than that, because then if we get Ferocious going.
I think things will calm down when the girls graduate from high school.
That's cool. I'll pencil you in then.
We're going to have a break before that, but yeah, then we have to move. That's going to be interesting. And then we're hosting some games at the house during right before GaryCon, and at GaryCon we're hosting games, but it's like the seat at the table through part of our Kickstarter thing. So they are.
I love how you did that. That was good.
But we're gonna have to make it look somewhat presentable. It's like
Well, that your again, your hostessing was immaculate, and it was a lot of fun. And maybe someday I'll get to do that again. I was enchanted until I made a saving throw, and then I wasn't. But no, I'm kidding. It was wonderful, and I'll just have to learn to not say I'll drink everything you'll put in front of me, because you will put everything in front of me. Yeah, that's for those of you who may have missed the previous retelling of that. What one of the players, and was it Jeremy Wilson?
Jeremy Wilson
said, yeah, Jeremy didn't want spotted cow, and I jokingly said, well, I'll drink whatever he doesn't, just whatever you put in front of me. And Heidi then broke out the magical, never emptying beer bottle. Because I don't think my beer bottle ever ran dry that entire Sunday afternoon, and we played from noon to 5, was it?
Yeah. I fed you guys too.
You fed us too. That's right. It was on a full stomach. She didn't send me staggering back to my hotel suite completely inebriated anyway. But no, your hospitality was excellent. So for those of you who might have that opportunity, take them up on it. You don't want to miss that. That was a lot of fun. Let's see. Oh yeah. No. Oh, I missed it. Sorry, Cornelius. I missed that one. Make a saving throw every day, but still end up making listings on eBay. So any questions at all you guys got? Just put them down in the chat. I have a question. When are you guys coming to Florida? I know 2026 or 2027. I know. I understand.
Eric and I talked about it, and he thinks the girls are a little bit young for
Disney World.
For Disney World, but we're going to plan a
their attention span. Zoe's 8, and Disney World is fun, but you have to have that attention span. This is all the walking and all the time, and the truth is, I want to send them to camp far away, and Heidi and I go, and
no, there's no way we'll go without them. And next year we kind of have our travel planned out, so it'd probably be 2025.
Yeah,
right on.
He's thinking later, but I think 2025. But 2024 we already have Virgin Islands and possibly a Europe trip. We're talking about Spiel.
Right.
Excellent.
Well, we're talking about Italy, but we're gonna make a quick run to Spiel. The plan is maybe make a quick run to Spiel and make it business, and then go to Italy.
But we have to figure out where to stash the kids while we're gone. So we'll fit in the
camp far away. Hey, you can go stay with Uncle Bill in Florida.
Hey, yeah, maybe they can go to.
Gosh, I'm having my house fumigated that week. Whichever week it is, I'll arrange it. No,
no, just kidding. We wouldn't do that.
I know. Now, someone asked a question, and this is you can just answer this with a yes or no. Somebody asked if they could ask about Ernie, if you'd like to, if you prefer not.
I'll give an Ernie update now. It's been pretty scary few days, but as of yesterday, he is doing better and talking and coherently, talking and stuff and doing a lot better. My brother Ernie has, some heart issues, not the kind that you can reverse, but he can make some changes and have some, good medical care. And, when he was in there, they, didn't know if he was going to be making it back out of the hospital. Now they're already making plans and talking about when he gets out, probably within 2 weeks.
Wonderful.
So, yeah. And so it's not like he's going to be back to perfect health or anything, but he's going to have to, probably do a lot of things he doesn't like to do because, Ernie's always likes to do things his way. And,
Right.
But he's going to have to make some changes. And because we all want him around for a little while longer. So. A lot longer we could, but yes. Yeah. So
Thank you very, very much for the update. I've tried, as I've seen public things. I mean, obviously, like at the beginning of the week, I was going to be like, "So, you guys going to be there Thursday?" Because we didn't know how the week was going to progress. But public things said in public and that sort of thing. I'd sort of been sharing with the chat and on other social media, maybe folks that are on Facebook, and there've been a few other things. But it's good to finally have the official word that he is moving up, that he is getting, and hopefully, who knows, maybe if I go to Gary Con next year, I'll be able to meet him and shake his hand and get an autograph, because
he would love to. He invites gamers to come over to his house. You could go over to his house and visit. He's probably not going to be really mobile. He had some issues with that before, but now it's even more so. But he's still, I'm sure he'll still run games, and
Well, if the audience would like, and if Ernie's up for it, and guys, I don't mean next week or the week after or even next month or whatever. I'd love to have Ernie on the show at some point. If it's something that he felt like he wanted to do, it would be wonderful.
Weekend at Ernie's. But no, yes, live. Oh, yeah, okay. So that's the other.
Oh, you dumbass.
Shit, Heidi, what?
Let's see. L has a question here. Let's see. Since we're talking to him, who at home made a PC that everyone hated being played the most? Kender don't count. I don't think there were any Kender at your dad's table. I would be shocked.
No, I can't. I don't even remember Cindy's, when Cindy played, what she played. I'd have to ask her, but she doesn't really talk about it. But yeah, no. We rolled our characters, and we had to do it the old-fashioned way, rolling them in order. Yeah, I don't have a good answer for that. People didn't like to play.
Come see us.
Yeah, come on in.
Amelie has decided to say hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Say hi.
Hello. How are you? It's good to see you. All 675 people in the chat say hello.
Yes.
I don't think she's buying it. She's just there for the crown.
And you need to go to bed because it's almost 8:30. You need to shut up. Are you ready to go to bed?
At least 8 minutes. Not 8 minutes.
7.
7 minutes.
Okay.
6 minutes.
All right. So you have 6 minutes. Okay.
Our teeth brushed. Do you need a snack?
They get up really early. The bus comes and picks them up at 7 o'clock sharp. So.
Oh my gosh, I don't. My oldest is graduated from long ago, 2 years out of high school now, and Rosemary is homeschooled. I do not miss autumn / pre daylight savings time, 0 dark 30
Yes.
get ups. I don't miss that in the least. I had a question, but my chat has overwritten it. Let's see. Oh, okay. So I've got a question. Bill Sylvia, I have a question. Regarding the D&D cartoon, did your dad basically put his stamp of approval on all the storylines?
Yes, in fact, he was living out in California when that was out there doing the Dungeons and Dragons Entertainment Corp. And yes, so he would, my understanding, was that he was checking them all here, or Ernie, because Ernie was out there working for DDEC also. And we're reviewing them. And my dad's listed as think it's co-executive producer on there. When you watch him, his name comes up on the cartoon. Yeah. So, yeah,
Right
I
on.
believe he was. And Uni, the unicorn. Here's a little thing. The unicorn on there, Uni, we had when we were living in Clinton, Wisconsin. That's when we had the nice house, sort of. It was kind of in a country area, but it was a really nice big house that because it was kind of close to Beloit, and some bankers had built it. But anyway, they had a barn, and my mom had her, started getting horses and stuff, and there was a goat, and we had a one-horned goat, and we called it Uni for unicorn, and that's where that name
Wow.
Uni came from. Yeah.
So Uni was real. You heard it here first, audience.
Uni was real.
Uni was real. All the characters on the show, just voice actors. Uni was real. Now, how damn cool is that? Pretty damn cool, I think. You heard it here first.
Sorry, I was answering that. Not northern Clinton, little tiny town near Beloit, kind of near Beloit, or Janesville, not too far from Janesville. Anyway, Wisconsin people asking.
Right on. Let's see. Want to make sure. Again, don't want to have missed any questions here. Chat tends to stick and then it'll fly past. It's like, 10 people have said things.
Uni wasn't useless.
Make cheese. I'm not gonna. I will have nothing to do with that. I will have nothing. Did you see that? I think it was a Toyota commercial that was made for the Brazilian market, where the D&D cartoon was huge in Central and South America.
Yeah, and I didn't know that at all until recently. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it's it's like a 1.5-minute cartoon, or rather a 1.5-minute live action commercial with all of the characters from the cartoon all grown up, running from an erupting volcano, and this SUV chases him down. It's like a Toyota SUV. Oh, are we uncorking? Damn it, I don't have anything.
See, we got to keep up this. People think we drink champagne all the time or drink wine. So
all right. Well, there's next time when you guys are on, and I'll uncork. I'll just get the 4-pack that's like $5.99 at the grocery store. Quality champagne. That
yes. Books or yeah.
You're not gonna blast that one off, Eric?
Well, this one actually has a cork that you have to use a corkscrew. There's a wine club, Naked Wines, which I should give you guys. I should put a code on as we get our money.
We can post a code.
We can post a code and then we get some credit.
They delivered it to the hospital for me, and they're like, "Oh, you got another case of booze."
Yeah.
Or ammunition. It's one or the other.
So, which is funny in this, very churchy town. But anyway, yeah. So we get the wines there, and you can get reasonable wines. This one's from Spain, and we like it. It's so it's not officially a champagne, but it's a sparkling rosé, and it's not sweet. It's dry.
I fixed the girls a snack, so I thought we needed one.
Okay.
Well, there you go. A liquid snack. I don't even. I have a dreg of Guinness left in the bottom of my glass. So,
Black box wine. I used to get that sometimes when I was in Hawaii, and I'd want to have like a glass of wine and not have it go bad right away if you don't finish the bottle quickly. But on the flip side of that, it's a box, so you can't see how much you're drinking. You're like, I haven't had that much, and next thing you know, you're like, this thing's empty.
Well, you got to just treat it. What you got to do, Heidi, is get yourself like a 1/2-inch piece of PVC at the hardware store and just treat it like a juice box. Just hammer it down in there and just sit back on the couch.
I don't get it. We don't do that much. Back when I used to sit down and binge watch Netflix and drink wine, I could maybe have done that, but we haven't had time. So this is our drinking time right now, sitting here with you.
Right on. Well, then I guess I'll just have to have you on the show. What, 3-4 nights a week from now? Yeah, Bill Sylvie dead from liver failure at age 39. At age 39.
Yeah, 39. Yes, you get.
Exactly.
Man, I'm the oldest one of the three of you guys. Of three of us here.
Stop.
No, you're not. You're absolutely not. But oh, let's see. So we've got Shadows, you got the board game, you've got the Bear RPG, and you guys are going to return to the D&D scene, of course. We're going to see more stuff on that. That's very cool. Maybe, hopefully, I put a germ of an idea in your heads for an art book, but I'm not going to lean on you too hard about that.
That's a great idea.
Clanner Jake said I aged like milk. Well, phooey on you. I'll have Santa Claus put coal in your stocking, young man. But anyway, 82-83. Bob Jester was 15-16.
Yeah.
See.
Fit right in with Thundar and Blackstar.
Thundar, there you go. I remember Jim Ward telling me that Thundar pissed him off because he was like, in a nutshell, okay, I'm not putting words in Jim's mouth, but he essentially said he was of the mindset that somebody may have looked at Gamma World a couple of times before sitting down to pen the concept for Thundar. But
creativity. I mean, all writing people. I mean, unless you're completely ripping something off. I mean,
what was I saying earlier about my teddy bear story that I wrote completely independently of this 7 years ago?
Right.
But it meshes in perfectly.
Rip him off. I've already hired the lawyer.
Because let me tell you something. If there's anything the RPG industry needs, it's more litigation.
Yeah.
I was just sitting around the industry saying, yeah, the courts aren't involved enough in tabletop gaming. What can we do to change that?
Yeah.
But
worry about Build-A-Bear.
Yeah.
Yeah, much less.
I read that. I was like, wow, shit. This is the story's really good, but we're going to really crazy lawsuit game. This is.
Oh yeah, no. All that's just coming right out of there when you get the next draft. So fear not. Again, I'm checking, making sure I didn't miss any questions. Anything any of you guys?
There's a conversation going on about Jack Kirby and his art and Thunder Barbarian. He was a comic book guy. I think he did the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. poster behind you. Not the poster, but what the poster is based on.
I'm sorry, my computer went crazy and I lost you guys there for a second. Yeah, this is Serenko.
Oh.
This is this is Serenko. But like, if you look at the blasters and that everyone has, Kirby, like his blasters, his handguns, his sci-fi weapons, even if it was just like a normal pistol, like here's a policeman's revolver, Jack Kirby would put bulges and scopes and chokes and magazines on that thing to beat the band. And Serenko has all that going on. For the longest time, before someone on stream pointed it out, I just thought, hey, that's a cool Jack Kirby piece there. It's obviously it's not a, it's a reproduction, but yeah, I thought that was Kirby just based on that fact alone. But it is very Kirby-esque, as they say, keep your Kirby hand strong, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
I'd like to say if I could zoom in on it, I would have known that, but maybe not.
Good night, Amelie. Good night, Mom.
I'm sorry, if you could zoom in on something.
If I could zoom in on the poster, I might have known, but I might not have.
Oh yeah, like I said, it escaped me for a long time too.
Yeah. It's okay. Good night. Yeah. Mittens is sitting on her cat tree looking at us with a very judging look at Mittens.
Bob Jester and Double Dinosaur, which was pretty awesome.
Yes, Kirby. Let's see.
I have a framed copy of. This is actually, it was when Heidi and we just had started like dating. Can I tell them a story about sitting in the bar?
What?
I was sitting at the bar at the Grand Geneva, and so we were going to go out and get something to eat, but I didn't know when she was going to call me. And
it was during GaryCon.
Yeah, it was during GaryCon. So I'm sitting there, and there's two guys, and they're talking about George Perez, comic book artist George Perez. And one of the guys is talking about this Avengers 25th anniversary lithograph, and so they're talking to each other, and I'm just sitting there between them, and the guy's like, yeah, I'd really like to find one of those. And I was like, I have one. I have it. It's hanging above my fireplace, and just got it framed. And the guy, and this one's the guy, you know, he just came back from the base camp of Everest, you know, and I'm thinking, but he's like, come here. So he's like, they
can't see you, honey.
Yeah. Yeah, but we can, and you look weird. But anyway, so they're like, oh, and so we started talking, and then one of them is like, hey, do you ever watch Comic Book Men? And I'm sitting there nodding. I don't know either of the guys, you know. And they start talking about this. They did this Golden Record reprint. They had Stan Lee on the show, and they had an episode where somebody came in to sell the Golden Record reprint from 1963 of Avengers #4, where Captain America came back. And I was like, that's really cool. And they're like, yeah, did you see the episode? And I was like, I actually reached out to Jane Violet Silent Bob's Secret Stash after that aired, and I bought it. They had Stan Lee sign it for me, and it's hanging on the wall next to the fireplace. So this one guy, he says, look, we don't know you. And he says, but he said, I'll bet we could say anything we want to tonight, and you're going to say I own it, or I've got it, or whatever. And I was like, look, I think it's funny, but I really did. I reached out to them, and got a picture of them at the Secret Stash. They took pictures. The guy Walt, who's the host of the show, he took pictures of him with it before he sent it to me. And so the guy said, you know, yeah, I'm sure you do everything you know. And so my phone's laying there, and about that time, my phone rings, and the guy's, and now effing Heidi Gygax is calling you. And I was like, gotta go. And so it was really funny because not too long ago, I got her flowers. And so she took a picture standing in front of the fireplace. And so the George Perez print's hanging on one side of her, and the signed Avengers #4 is hanging on the other side of her. So I sent it to one of the guys. We became friends after that, and I was like, yeah, you know, you lost all your inheritance, man. This is anyway, just a funny story, or it was to me.
Anyway, yeah, because now he's like, and now effing Heidi Gygax is calling him.
Effing Heidi Gygax. That's funny.
It's not an MG. It's a kit car. I think we're talking about the car. It's a kit car. It's a 1929 Mercedes Gazelle, and it was a kit car. And the car was actually when Gary hit it big with Dungeons and Dragons and started, was able to do some things. He bought the car as a present for Heidi's mom.
Yeah, and he bought it. It was actually, I was with them. It was Mother's Day, and we lived in Clinton, but we went over to Lake Geneva, and there was an art gallery. What used to be the Fancy Fair Mall. I forget what they're calling it now. Across this, and he talked to the guy, and the guy handed my dad the keys. He had bought it from that guy without my mom knowing. We cut through the parking lot that's behind, like where Egg Harbor is, and there's that parking lot. And so anyway, we were like, wow, look at that car. That's really cool. And he's like, telling my mom, get in. She's like, I'm not getting in somebody else's car. He's like, just get in and try it out. And she's like, no, Gary, I'm not getting in that car. And then he hands her the key. and it was really dramatic and cool. But yeah, so that, and then it was sold. So this was in, I believe that was 1980 because it's a 1979 kit car, right? That it was. It's built on a 1929 Mercedes Gazelle. So I think it was in Mother's Day 1980. My dad bought it for my mom, and then it got sold when my parents went through their divorce, and it was sold to a friend of the family, you know, not too far in that area, and they kept it all these years, and it was in the barn and be driven once in a while,
like parades and local events.
Yeah, local events, and Jerry Savage's family. He does the Savage Creations with the pens at Gary Con, if you've ever seen them and stuff. But anyway, his father had bought it, and so we bought it back from them.
Right.
When we found out it was up for sale.
Yeah, I found out, and she didn't know, and so I was going to buy it for her as a engagement present.
Yeah.
And then we ended up buying it for her.
Together, and it's really cool.
That's wonderful. Now, I've been fortunate. I've seen that car. That's a sweet little ride. That is a wonderful, wonderful looking little car. And I'm glad it has such a great story behind it, too.
And the girls like to ride in it.
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course. The princesses have their carriage.
They do.
Oh, and she...
She's so camera shy. I mean,
she's fighting and clawing to get out from under the lens there. I see.
Did these guys see these dice? This is really cool. This was
okay.
You are shameless. It's like this.
I know, but I thought this was so cool. Eric had this idea. Wait.
Hang on, I'm gonna
to put together dice. Well, we added the percentile, the 10 side and the percentile. But Eric had this idea.
There you go.
To put together dice that look like the classic style dice with the colors, and then we added these in, but they're with Chessex dice, and so we did a little Gaxland.
You're so funny.
Classic style dice. No, these have been really popular.
No, they have been. Absolutely. It's just, but you're like product placement.
No, they're going to be included though. They're included in the Kickstarter for the early bird backers, and you get them at no additional cost in the early bird Kickstarter package. So
yeah, I was playing around on the Chessex website, and I thought, I could put together what looks like a classic set, but I wouldn't have to feel bad about, taking them out of the package.
The corners wouldn't they wouldn't turn round after you roll them a few times.
Right.
The 20-sided dice used to be like, keep going.
The golf ball.
But
there's a dude on Facebook. What is his company? I always forget this. Threshold Dice Works. And this guy makes replacement sets of those complete with the sharp edges. Like he tracked down perfect examples or near perfect and then cleaned up the molds and sells them. They're not cheap. I think I
for collectors though, if he's doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, here's a basic set. Yeah, it doesn't have any dice in it, but it does. Is it live or is it Memorex? But I had to get a set of those. I love them. But his are made from a higher impact plastic. So although if I'm being completely honest, I doubt I'll be around to see them get rounded off edges. So will these dice, will the Gaxland dice be separate on the Gaxland store, or are they already?
They are.
These are on the store as well as the duck dice, and they're also in add-ons on the Kickstarter, which is a good deal because we're not charging. What we've been doing on every one of our Kickstarters is, except for international orders, we make it so that shipping's included. So the price that you see is shipped to you, all 50 states. And we sit here and we box them all and we enter in all the information and we hit print and I cut out the labels and we tape them on and we do the whole thing.
Any cat hair or dog hair you might get is free of charge.
No.
But Heidi, do I get a bee with it?
I will see if I can get one. There are some wood bees here. No, not wood, that sounded wrong. Yeah, wood bee.
Would be.
Would be.
Would be what? Oh, hey, Mark
Yeah,
Clover.
that was the question.
Lake Geneva missed you.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Mark. Yes, we will be back, and we actually will be there October, what is it, 12th, 13th, 14th, and 15th for Dragon Days, and we're going to figure out to run a game at Lake Geneva Games that week as well.
If you'll have us.
Right before GameCon, so.
Right on.
And then we're going to be there, and you'll be so sick of us because by Christmas time, we'll be there.
We're good.
Well, and don't forget, next June you have to attend the Guac. You're committed to it, so don't.
Yes.
We will attend the Guac next year.
Yes.
You'll have to go all the way to your couch with a laptop to do that. So.
Someone asked my favorite place when we're in Wisconsin to visit is Lake Geneva Games, and Mark is from Lake Geneva Games. And it's a really nice store, and they actually have an honest to gosh secret door to get into one of the game rooms. You should go check out.
That's
product placement. That's how you do it.
Yeah, it's a really nice,
It's
really friendly gaming store. And in fact, my little brother Alex works there. Yeah.
That's right. On Gary's birthday, Alex joined us from work live from Lake Geneva Games.
Yes,
he was there, and that's awesome. Connect says she'll be there Sunday at Lake Geneva Games.
Avoiding going to bed.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's past your bedtime. I forgot you were there.
Yeah.
No, she does that. She's so sweet. That's the thing. So the other night she told me, what was it you said you were? I was like, oh yeah, she's playing on her tablet and she's very busy. But as soon as it's bedtime, it's like, oh, you're so sweet and I miss you and the crown looks so pretty and your hair is so nice and your shirt's so nice and I said, and I was making fun of her for doing this, and she said, what was it? You're gonna snatch.
I'm gonna snatch your weave off.
Yeah, she's gonna snatch your weave.
Yeah, she said, I'm gonna snatch your weave. I'm like, what?
Snatch your weave off.
Okay, go to bed.
All right, babe.
All right.
Did you guys eat your snack?
Yeah, I'm gonna eat all the apples.
Yeah, she's like, oh,
All right.
okay.
Jorge asks, is it just me or were there T-shirts on Gaxland?
Yes, there are some T-shirts. They're print on demand T-shirts, and when we are at GaryCon next year, I'm working on having some, a few various designs of T-shirts to buy at our booth.
Yeah, we're gonna have a booth.
Yeah,
because we didn't have enough to do, so now we're designing a booth, and we're gonna.
Right on. Because again, sitting at a booth. Once again, you guys don't have enough to do, and clearly something to fill the hours is just what the doctor ordered, right?
Well, yeah. My son, my son and a couple of his friends are probably going to run it for us.
Yeah, most of the time they'll be there, and we're Chet.
I thought your son was grounded.
He is. That's why he's at the booth.
Okay.
And also Chet said he's going to come by there. He committed to at least an hour of the con. And when we find out when, we'll have it there so that he'll sign autographs and artwork or whatever, and not just stuff that we're selling. If somebody has something else they want, but
oh, that is wonderful. I wish I could make it this year. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Let's see. I guess Jorge's following up. I was looking for them now, and I had seen some with cover of some of your modules. Oh, he found it. He's good. All right. This is what we like to do around here. I like to help the people.
All right. Well, if they're not showing up, I will. Oh, do you see it? Okay. I will have to. Yeah, I can update. If you tell me what you're looking for, I can make sure to get it there too. We take. Your suggestions are always welcome for what you're looking for.
I would buy the Drinky Poo shirt for my wife, but my ex-wife's name is Debbie, so that wouldn't work.
Debbie Gustafson, who's close from the Gustafsons, the Gygaxes are always good friends, and so we put my friend Debbie in there as Deborah Gustafsdotter.
A lot of people.
Yeah. Yep.
We haven't put Bill in yet.
Yes, we did.
Which Bill?
Gray Bill?
Oh, we did. Yes. Well, he had to be involved in that, though. Yes. Yeah. Actually, Gray Bill. And Gray Bill
Which
makes
Bill?
another appearance.
He's contractually obligated to do that, I think. But
Yeah, but you're also, we have Gray Bill is pre-gen in Curse of Candlelight Manor.
Right.
that's right. That's right. You got. If you guys want to climb inside and drive me around, there's your chance. Get Curse of Candlelight Manor. It's like being John Malkovich, but I'm much fatter.
And there's supposed to be 2 more Curse of Candlelight Manor. We're planning on 2 more adventures, and then offering a set of 3 in a box.
Right.
Oh,
digest size.
box sets are my jam. So
And we had somebody complain about the fact that it was digest size, because they're like, "Oh, now you're making another size." We're like,
that was funny. Yeah, it was an ad. It was a free add-on, and it's like, now we've got to keep track of it.
yeah,
But he still bought it. So.
yeah.
yeah. This is horrible. Give me 5 copies. How absolutely dare you, sir? Here's my credit card. Yeah. But hey, I'll just say it public right here. If you guys want to do AD&D conversions on any future Candlelight Manor work, I'm here for you. Depending on how well received it is, if people are like, "Yeah, it was fine, but that one AD&D conversion sucked," talk about a waste of ink. I tore that out. I just ripped those pages out. Obviously, then you don't want that black eye.
We played Curse of Candlelight Manor. It was the most recent game that we played at Lake Geneva Games, and it was a lot of fun. There was just one part that I wish we would have written differently, so that the doll could have climbed up the guy's leg.
Oh yeah, we put some creepy stuff in there. But we were playing with a group of power players, and they were like, they just skipped right to the end and killed one of the big bads, but they still were getting freaked out. It's one of those, I would really like to play it by candlelight at some point.
There you go.
We were trying to put freaky, scary stuff.
Oh, but they were having fun, and they didn't finish in the 4-hour time that we had there. We didn't get to the end, but they were having fun, and we were trying to, but Alex was like, "We've got to close now. It's 9 o'clock, and I've got a 2-year-old who's potty training. I got to get home."
He's like, "It's 9:02."
Yeah.
Like, hey,
all right.
We're going.
That's when you hand them a D6 and say, "Roll this," and don't roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Right.
Jim Ward taught me this trick. It's like putting on the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald when you want everybody to leave the dinner party, right? It's just, "Hey, how about another record, Bill?" "Sure." "Oh, you guys are leaving already? All right."
We are COC Gaxland Twist for future modules.
Curse of Candlelight Gaxland Twist for future modules.
I don't know. Connect may have been referring to Call of Cthulhu.
Oh,
Call of Cthulhu, or she may have been referring to something else. But
Oh, well, that's what he said, but I'm like,
it's okay. It's funny. Well, I was reading, I was thinking, we're so everything that we're writing is connected. So if you read the end, the little bit at the end credits at the end of Tomb and Dundle Chief,
mm-hmm.
G2,
it connects to Shadows over Lake Geneva.
And I thought that was a lot of fun. When I got to that, I was like, "Whoa, that was really cool."
That's a little hint about like portals and things that could be.
Yeah, good stuff.
So we went out and we bought another website, and we've trademarked another name. We've got more art being made. That everything will take place in. So you got Gax Land, so everything will be in the Gax verse.
Yes, we're gonna do the Gax verse.
And so need a publisher.
So no, but that's what I think that's going to be exciting. I don't know. I was even thinking like, hey, we'll get the, on the first one, I'm like, what if when there's a certain thing that they're going to see, and I'm like, what if it like portals them, and he was like, oh, they would die instantly. Yeah, they don't have any. I'm like, well, it's not like they couldn't get back.
Jorge, yes, easy conversion, piece of cake. Using the OD&D, well, using either one, you can jump over to Swords and Wizardry. I'll bet you'd run right through it. You got a question on Call of Cthulhu?
Yeah. What is do you what is your opinion of Call of Cthulhu from Vaughn?
I don't have one.
Have you ever played it?
No, I have not.
Well, then you should. In October on our Friday night live streams, I will set aside Gamma World. In October, I will be live streaming a mini campaign, a mini horror campaign using Call of Cthulhu. So maybe tune in.
I know we're going to be.
It's going to be while we're traveling. He's going to do it like we're going to be at Alex's wedding, and he's going to be running.
I know, and because we're DMing games on my birthday. And then the day after my birthday, we're DMing in the morning and going to my brother's wedding.
But that's the beauty, is you can come back and watch them anytime on YouTube you want. But with all that free time you have. Although I would point out, for my audience's sake, one of those games in October will not be on Friday. It might be on Thursday, or it might be on like the following Monday or something like that, because I will be traveling in October. I will be fulfilling the second half of the gift that you folks in the audience gave me. I will be in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, watching the Crimson Tide play. So
very cool.
Oh, wow.
When
yes,
is that happening?
That is, I think it's the 21st or 22nd of October. I grew up. Well, I lived in Georgia.
Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah, I grew up in well, I was born in Georgia, lived there till I was 5, from 5 until I was 10. So I really grew up in Florida. But my entire life, regardless of where we were, we've always been Alabama Crimson Tide fans. And when I was a kid and we lived in Alabama, if Dad had the free time, we didn't have the money. And if we had the money, we didn't have the free time to get over to Tuscaloosa and watch Alabama game. So consequently, despite the fact that Bear Bryant was the coach, and those were like golden years for the Tide, well, of the many golden years they've had, never got to see him play. And along with the trip up to Lake Geneva back in March, they said also in October, you get to go to Tuscaloosa. You get to go to a Crimson
Very
Tide.
cool. That is wonderful.
Roll Tide.
Because it is, it's a game on a Saturday. I'm not gonna run a Call of Cthulhu game till to midnight, and then take like a first thing in the morning flight, and then try and drive to Tuscaloosa for a 2 in the afternoon kickoff. That's just not going to happen. So I'll make arrangements. Those of you in the chat, those of you in the audience, will figure it out. But you will get 4 Call of Cthulhu games. But let's see.
Low level boss hideout is 723 William Street.
What is it? The low level.
It's not too soon. It's not too soon. That's
yeah.
It's a thief.
Yeah.
You've got to have.
That's not what I'm saying.
Let me tell you what, you guys have got to have a clue, whether it's in the game or IRL. You've got to have a clue dropped at PO Box 756, Lake Geneva, Wisconsin.
We tried to get PO Box 756, but it was not available.
It actually appears. So this is one of these things. It appears in one of our modules, though. Right to Box 756.
It does. For the seekers.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah,
The book club.
yeah.
The book club.
Right.
Oh my gosh. So this module is going to be awesome, and I hope
Maybe Harold has it. Maybe that's why it's not available. That Wisconsin Johnson. No.
Nice.
No, that's his nickname, Wisconsin
Oh
Johnson.
no, I know. Yeah.
so let's see. The Kickstarter is currently at 4605, and a couple of people in the chat did pledge. So
Thank you very much.
you guys, let's keep boosting that. I'm gonna one more time. I'm gonna throw the URL out there. And
appreciate it. I know this one is we've last couple times we funded really early in the Kickstarter on the first two, but I think this one's just different, and but we still believe in it, and we think it's awesome, and we're working hard on it, and we're going to bring a really good product. So whether or not, I mean, said if we just fund, and that's okay.
no, it has to fund. It has to fund, and it has to get to the stretch goal of 16,000. Please, guys, I need the money.
I have an idea. There's somebody that I know who has kind of a larger reach in this. And at one point, he and I talked. He co-wrote some books with my dad way back when, and he was part of DDEC. And he talked to me at one time, and he's like, it'd be really cool if you wrote some of these, because we were just talking about some of my dad's stories about Lake Geneva and some of the supernatural and the hunting stuff. He's like, you should write some adventures where these happen at these certain locations. And I'm like, yeah, that's really great. I think I'll do that. So maybe I'll reach out to him and say, hey, could you post this, because he has big following, and he's he writes in LA and stuff, and has some support. I didn't really have much contact with them anymore, but my brother.
Do you mind if I take a guess at who it is?
Yeah.
Is it Flint Dilly?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So this is so. A couple of years ago, I threw a friend request on Facebook, and he immediately friended me back. I thought that was very nice. Like a day later, apropos of nothing, I'm sitting there watching YouTube, and somebody was like, a YouTuber was just like, hey, check out this is a VCR, like choose your own adventure game. Like, you put the tape in and you pause it and you rewind it to these spots. And it was like vampire, some kind of horror themed things. And they were just kind of, making mock of the cheesy acting and that sort of thing, but going through it. And when they get to the end and the credits are running, it was written by Flint Dilly, or he was the executive producer on it. How serendipitous. Yeah,
he's before he wrote with my dad, when I met him, he was in his 20s, and I think he's like 8 or 9 years older than I am. But anyway, so I was like maybe 19 or 20, and he was in his late 20s. And he talked to me, and he's working with my dad, and this was at the old Gen Cons. And I was like, oh, this is Flint Dilly. He writes for Mr. T Cartoon, and which was true. He did. And he was like, stop. He was writing for Mr. T. He wrote one of the Fievel. He wrote one of the Fievel movies. He's done a lot of different stuff. So anyway, he's got a lot of contacts, and he's always at like Comic-Con and doing those kind of things. So I thought, well, if he posts something, I'm sure he has a following. And he and I did kind of he mentioned it in passing. I'm like, yeah, that'd be great, because he was and he worked at DDEC with my dad, and he had been at Stone Manor, one of the places on the lake, and when my dad lived there. And so anyway, that was something I thought of to do to kind of give it a boost, because I'll say, hey, you made the suggestion, and I'm doing it, and come on.
There you go. Well, I will get this out onto Twitter, of course. This is crazy. I have actually found that like RPG Twitter, just like when you just talk to people about games and you just kind of tune out the screeching into the void that people tend to do. It's actually kind of nice. There's a good stretch. I guess I've got like 2,100 followers now on RPG Twitter, and I say RPG Twitter. I kid periodically. I'll post up like, guys, let's remember Twitter is for the discussion of first edition and original Dungeons and Dragons, and let's try to cut the politics out. Let's just remember what Twitter is for. And I'll tag Ellen Mest, like, right, Ellen? Like he's going to jump in. But no, there's a good bunch of people over there that I know are going to be interested in this. So I will be sure to share. And you guys out there in the audience, copy this URL and do it too. You guys signal boost this. We love you guys, and we want to see more awesome stuff and see things like this right here succeed. Oh, it's open to the stretch old boy.
Yeah.
Why did not have silly me? Silly me.
We're going to make sure, we're going to make sure this works.
It'll work.
Yes. And we're not going to stop, so you guys are stuck with us.
Yeah. Kabuki Kid, the coupon to send in for dice, $1.50 from your old homes at Will. So we honor. Yes, you send me that coupon, I will send you dice from Lake Geneva.
Yeah.
They may not be those dice.
I will you accept a scan printed out?
You bet. Sure.
I know what I'm doing with my home set rules tonight.
Oh, nice.
Eric gets a box of them tomorrow, like 200. Just blow through a ream of printer paper.
You know what? We've been getting a lot of website orders for these dice. People love these dice.
Cool. They're awesome. They're the high impact. If you step on the D4, you're probably not going to rip your femoral artery open.
Probably survive. Yeah, not like your daughter's like random earrings. No, we've last week we took out 2 pierced earrings out of Zoe's foot on 2 different days within a week. Anyway, luckily it wasn't an old D4 because that would have left a larger flesh wound.
Oh, Lord, yeah. Oh, that's making my feet hurt just thinking about it. Wow. Okay, so guys, get out there, support this Kickstarter. It is awesome stuff. And these are lovely people, and it's absolutely a blast to have you guys on tonight. Thank you so much for coming on. And I know you'll be back later. I don't think I've managed to drive you off completely just yet. So anything in parting from the audience, now is your chance. Have you guys got anything in parting?
Another flesh wound for Eric. No more flesh wounds for Eric for a while.
Yeah, please. No. Get him some of those. What are the things with the spikes, the crampons to walk
life
with?
Insurance from the hospital is done. We're gonna have to be careful. Right
on. So we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Much love to you guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Thank you to our audience. Absolutely. Anytime. I don't care if you guys come out with a Gaxland set of toothpicks and want to kickstart it. Come on the show and we will kickstart Gaxland toothpicks. But as the gears start turning in Eric's head, +1 toothpicks, yes.
And yes, we talked about Ernie earlier, Mark. And yes, good thoughts for Ernie. He's doing great.
Yes, that was
much better.
Much better. I mean, great for comparison, but yes.
We're not.
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
So, as Gary loved cryptids, so I will leave you guys out there with this song about keeping one's eyes peeled for owl bears. Good night, and God bless.
Good night.
Have you seen my owl bear? Here's to all the weirdos everywhere in the woods and in the air. Have you seen my owl bear? Should I shave off all my hair. Bobs are all around, some live in tunnels underground. Some are fat, some are rich, some are sleeping in a ditch. Can you ride a crooked horse without a saddle way off course? Naked as a toad, all the way to Smoky Joe's. Have you seen the little creep driving fast in his little green Jeep? He smells like fish and brandy, but his rotten teeth look dandy. Take me to the show, I don't care if fast or slow. From action flicks to dancing dicks, just take me to the show.